Grand rising, all those sports fans out there. This is Achoti Speaks, and welcome to the first edition of Nfnc Sunday Morning Sports Wrap Session. And I am so pleased to be with you this grand AM. It's time for football, y'all. Are y'all ready for some football? Man, I am so excited. NFNC has their fantasy football team. I shared my fantasy football lineup with um, my Instagram followers, and I'm excited about my team. I got Jalen Hurts starting quarterback. Kickoff time is 3:25 today on that end. But yeah, welcome everyone. I hope this can be a consistent showtime for everyone to come in and just chop it up about sports, right? So we had some interesting headlines this weekend. Of course, I'm a Sanders fan, have been since he was prime time with the Dallas Cowboys. I believe that was the first. Yeah. So in the car with me today as I'm doing this live, I have the very well established Major Sergeant Davis in the building, right? So um he's tagging along. Actually, he's driving while I'm doing this live. But I'm just testing this out for the first time, So welcome to anybody joining me now and will join me later. The link is in the chat. If you have a sports story you want to share with us, get us abreast on what's going on in your sports world. But I'm gonna tell you what's going on in my sports world right now. Um, I'm excited that we have another Black African American melanated young female talent that showed her stuff on the scene with the US Open tennis, right? She's 19 years old and she won the US Open. And I'm so very proud of her. Let me go ahead and pull that article up. So, in case you didn't know, you know, our people out there doing their thing in the sports world. So, like I said, from time to time, you may hear Major Sergeant Davis in the background chiming in. Hopefully he'll speak up loud enough for you guys to hear him. But if not, I'll just repeat what he says. But I'm gonna pull up the article, US Tennis Open 2023 results, right? And, and let's see. Very talented young, the very, very talented young lady won.
And was that the U.S. Open? Don't even see her. She should have been like women's singles. That's right, women's. I don't know how you pronounce that, but we're going to cover first game number. I shot you know, you know, her mentor. I mean, what she loved to her life in the U.S. Open, and now her dreams have come true. So that just show you, when you put your mind to doing something, it can. Let me go back to the stream. Uh-oh, my connection. Hopefully I'm back online. Hopefully I'm back. I'm looking here, spending. Looks like I'm back on. So did her thing yesterday. Um, Shalom, Sister DD. I see you. And something new out. I'm a for today is like the first Sunday game of the season. Nfnc has their fantasy football team lineup was shared on Instagram. Check that out. I don't know, sister, if you are a football fan, but so what I said was that you'll find this very interesting. For every point that Jalen Hurts scores on my fantasy football team, I'm going to multiply that by 5, and that will be our donation to Othel.org today. So um, game time is 3:25, and so right after the game, I'll make my donation to the Othel Wallace Legal Defense Fund at www.othal.org. Othel.org is where we're raising funds for our dear brother who is standing trial. Open argument starts on tomorrow. So thought you'd find that interesting, sister. Stay with me as I tell you about Miss Coco. She is the young lady that just won the women's singles in tennis US Open. So I'm trying to get that article up here just to read that, give her shots out. I'm very excited about her win. So I'm going to go to a CNN article and just read that for the record. And it says US Open Women's Final, American Coco Gauff rallies to defeat Arena Semblanca in a dramatic finish. And this is coming from Queens, New York, by way of CNN. Coco Gauff, the world number 10 women's singles player, has defeated Belarusian Arena Semblanca 2-6, 6-3, 6-2 with a dramatic comeback in the women's US Open final. The star-studded crowd erupted with applause after Gauff home turf victory at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens. The win is 19-year-old Gauff's first career Grand Slam and makes her the first American teenager to win the US Open since 23-time major champion Serena Williams took the title in 1999. Shots out for the young people that has been historically great in our community. So she says, I feel like I'm in shock at this moment, said an emotional golf after her win. God puts you through tribulations and trials, and that makes this moment sweeter than I would have imagined. She thanked her family, her team, and the people who didn't believe in me. Wow. Shout out to the haters out there. Sometimes haters are just our motivation, right? So let's go. So it said, bidding for her second major title of the year, the soon-to-be women's world number one, Semblanka, made quick work in the first set, breaking Goff's serve 3 times to win 6-2 and dominate in a dominant fashion. However, with the packed crowd chanting, "Let's go, Coco," Goff raised her level in the second set, going up a break before eventually taking it 6-3 to force a deciding third set. A locked-in Golf took control in the third set, going up a double break to inch ever closer to her maiden Grand Slam title. Although Semblanka took the next 2 games, Golf closed out the match to become the 12th teenager in U.S. Open history to win the title. She says, I don't know. I just knew that if I didn't give it my all, I had no shot at winning. Golf said on how she found the strength to rally after dropping the first set. So that's, Coco Golf. Coco did her thing, spreading that medaling around the tennis world. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate her for that. Now, she mentioned it or invoked God into one of her statements, and that brings me into the next topic I want to talk about, and that's good old Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock definitely had a lot to say about Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, win his first win with Colorado when they played Texas Christian University on last Saturday, well, Saturday before last, right? And you know, Jason Whitlock took issue with how Coach Prime handled the reporters. He questioned and asked them, like, do you believe? And I guess that was coming from a place of feeling like the reporters didn't give him a good rap, going into the game. A lot of people were doubting his ability to take a non-winning team such as Colorado was prior to him getting there to a winning team, right? They doubted that they would be able to even compete with the likes of a TSU, TCU, the likes of a TCU. They were in the championship last year in college football. And so you take a Colorado team that only won 1 game last season and put them up against a team that was in the championship ranks. And everybody doubted that Dion was going to be able to do it, but he did it. And so Jason Whitlock had a lot to say. He was running his mouth big time on his podcast, the Jason Whitlock Show. And he even said that Coach Prime was abusing Christianity by invoking God into his conversation at the same time, bashing reporters or bragging on himself and bragging on his kids. And I just thought that was very, very, I guess, hater like, for lack of better terms, for Jason Whitlock to come out, publicly and express his disdain for Coach Prime and, basically bastardized him and compared him to a Satanist and then compared him to a female. I really did think that his behavior on his podcast was quite telling. And he seemed like someone that was jealous of Coach Prime. He even made mention of his gold chain wearing, telling him to grow up. That's not something that a grown college sportsman should do, wear gold chains and whatnot. I was like, this dude is really, really jealous. He feeling a certain kind of way. Nobody really pays attention to Jason Whitlock, but the fact that he would say that Dion has is trying to play the race card, that really got on my nerves, because here it is. You have a black man, African American, melanated, however you want to categorize him, right? He did something historical, and his own brethren trying to tear him down in the mass media. It's like we can't be confident like in what we're doing. Coach Prime just exudes confidence, and Jason Whitlock took that to be arrogant. So, what do y'all think? Is Coach Prime arrogant, or is he just confident? Like some people can be overconfident, but I don't think he's overconfident because he's putting his players and his coaching ability where his mouth is. Everything that he said he was going to do, he basically did it. He's backing it up, and he's not only backing it up, but he's also criticizing his players when they fall short. I think like the first game, the defense did not come, and put their best foot forward. They made lots of mistakes in the first game against TCU, but then the second game that happened on yesterday, oh, they beat Nebraska, right? They beat Nebraska yesterday, so that's two games. So they're 2-0 so far, and the defense showed up. I mean, the defense really showed up and showed out, and so I think Jason Whitlock may need to go back and read, look at the tapes, look at how he's interacting with these players, and really apologize to Dion, because it's not about arrogance, it's more about confidence. And that's what you have to have. You have to be confident if you're going to be an effective coach, because if you're timid, then your players are going to play timid, right? So they're going to be timid on the football field and they're going to lose. So right now, I say shout out to Coach Prime and to all those haters, including Jason Whitlock. Um, I guess run tell that. Run tell how he's dominating in the news. Maybe that's what Jason Whitlock don't like, the fact that he's dominating in the news, and nobody is talking about Jason Whitlock anymore. Like you're a has been. Like they don't even want you on ESPN anymore. So I'm like, I don't know. This guy is kind of weird that he would go against Coach Prime right now when everybody, is basically on board now. Now they're on board. So let's get to that article that News Facts and Comments shared regarding Coach Prime latest win. We're gonna get to that in just a second. But tell me what y'all think. Have y'all heard that story, or did y'all see the podcast that Jason Whitlock did regarding Coach Prime? It was absolutely despicable to me. Like it was like, man, you're just so jealous. Like that's so very unbecoming for a grown man. But that's, oh, we just crossed the Florida state line. So hang in there. My signal might fade in and out, but stay tuned. I'm still locked and loaded. Still locked and loaded. So let's get that article, that news article. Oh man, so I was kind of nervous because like I said, Coach Prime talked a lot of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, we here now. First they were saying we're coming, then he started saying we're here now, and then he told his players earlier during the week that it's personal because Nebraska was coming to their home stadium, right? They're going to be on their home, and they Buffalo the victory over the 6-14 was score. So the defense shut them down. They only scored 14 points. So let's go. Colorado Buffaloes took on Nebraska Cornhuskers in Colorado. And with all the hype around Coach Prime in his press conference last week, upsetting 17th ranked Texas Christian University 45-42, the Buffs ran over the Cornhuskers, defeating them 36-14. Colorado Buffaloes quarterback how you pronounce his first name? Shredder Sanders. Yeah, that's Dion's son, right? He's the quarterback. Sanders looks for somewhere to pass as he is chased by Nebraska Cornhuskers defensive lineman Blake Gunnerson. The Buffs 2-0. They haven't been 2-0 since 2020. After a tough first half, Colorado ended it putting up 13 points due to turnovers. But in the second half, they turned up the dial and took off, winning by 22 points. Although Schrader Sanders was sacked several times today, he was 31 of 42 with 393 yards and 2 touchdowns. Whoa! So he's running the ball now. He ran 2 in for a touchdown. That's something different than what he did in the first game against TCU. He pretty much stayed in the pocket, and I saw many opportunities for him to run, and he didn't. So I think that they went back and looked at the tapes and told him, "Hey, son, just go for it. Just let's play ball, right?" So I think that was a difference in helping them to win this game. Him being, taking that, getting outside the pocket and going in for the touchdown himself when he saw an opportunity. So, so it says here he has definitely put himself into the Heisman conversation and on the national stage. After 2 games, he's in contention for the Heisman Trophy. So I think that coach to feel a certain kind of way about his own son, with these historic wins that he's getting already. And we're only 2 games into the season. Shouts out to the Sanders family, right? Nebraska had 4 turnovers, a missed field goal, and 6. Quarterback Jeff Sims struggled with 2 drop snaps first half and an interception, a touchdown, and field goal for Buffalo. Like I said, the defense showed up and showed out. And Coach Prime did so. Coach Prime an apology. The statement that he's concerned about his players. He's only concerned about bringing fame to his name when he was already famous. So I don't know what you're talking about with that. So anyway, so he says Colorado's second half appeared to be very strategical and focused on moving the ball down the field by scoring 3 touchdowns. A game that started to look like a defensive game turned into a blowout. Travis Hunter had played 69 on offense and 73 yards. On defense, 57, 57 of 63 snaps with tackles and 1 pass breakup. Hold up, look like I got a guest in the building. Got a guest in the building. Major TV, come in, sir. Are you
How
there?
you doing? Blessings,
Hey,
peace. How you doing? What's going on?
Hey, grand rising to you, brother. Thanks for joining us today. So I don't know how much of that you heard, but I took issue with Jason Whitlock and Coach Prime and came back and just made him eat dirt, right? So what's your take
Right.
on that beef between Jason Whitlock? Well, it really ain't no beef. Jason Whitlock, stated his opinion, and I think I just pushed back. I don't agree. What do you think?
Well, actually writing an article for Nfnc regarding Jason Whitlock motives, his criticism. I'm gonna say unfair criticism, right? And he also bringing and injecting Christian Anthony because Dion Coach Prime always speak about God when he's speaking, and he's trying to say in the same breath. He's cocky, he attacks people and so forth, so on, right? And I just really want to bring um a clear understanding of where they're coming from because it's not the first time he tagged, a former black athlete or what have you. And for me personally, I just feel like he's more concerned about the conservative white audience and pleasing them. He come from Fox on Fox Sports over there where they fired him, right? And I just feel like anybody get the spotlight that's melanated, especially over some controversy as far as them calling a report out for doubting them and saying certain things and basically trying to get the reporter to admit, that he was wrong, you know what I'm saying? He took it to the next level, Whitley, and just made a big deal about it. And then I looked at a show with Warren on his show with Warren Sapp on set telling him he was wrong. It wasn't a Yahoo writer. It was somebody else. He's an Indian dude, what have you. So he really wrong in assuming that Prime went after a Yahoo white media writer or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like I don't really have no real opinion about him no more than the fact that he out of bounds. You know, he bougie, and he on some other stuff. So when he criticized Coach Prime, I look at it like him just trying to please the conservative audience that look at football a certain kind of way, how black should perform, act as a coach, and so forth, so on.
Well, I don't even think he's bougie. I think that this whole thing was clickbait to make him seem relevant again, because who really listens to Jason Whitlock? He's a has been, washed up. Nobody even wants him. I just think that he did it so that people could, so his name could be in in the mix. But it's backfiring on him because a lot of people are giving him major pushback. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like you say, he's out of bounds. He's way out of his lane, and so he's gonna go down there. Like, what do you think about?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you. It's still staticky.
Going in and out of different towers on the road, right? I'm on the road. So what I was saying
All
was, can
right.
you hear me better
All
now?
right.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, yes, I can. I can.
All right. So what do you think about Coco and the Grand Slam?
All right, first, before we go into Coco, let me speak briefly about what you said about clickbait. That's something I forgot to mention, but it's very important that we put emphasis on it. It is clickbait. It is a part of algorithm and whatnot. It is part of on internet world, right? Coach Prime going leaving Jackson State, HBCU, and going to Colorado, a D1 school and what have you, and all the other stuff, right? That's going associated with Pro Coach Prime and the criticism he got, right? But I agree with you. It is clickbait. He really trying to use the algorithm to get more followers and so forth, so on. So I just wanted to say that I totally agree. And for Coco, man, you gotta love her. You know, this is young sister is really following the steps of Serena and Venus. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't catch the actual event, but what I read about it and seeing, I was very very mesmerized how talented she is, how much she grown, and how she just I mean just taking the game over, like I mean making large statements. And there's an article just came out I wanted to read. I didn't have a chance to read, but it's talking about Coco feeling a certain kind of way because a protester came out there and protest. I don't know if a protester actually came on a court, but she really had comments about that. But I don't know exactly what she said.
Right. They were protesting something regarding environment or something like that, environment change, and environment activists, right? And they glued themselves to a cement floor during the Grand Slam, and they had to shut it down. And so I think that's probably what she's referring to. So yeah, that was quite weird. Like, why would you come to the Grand Slam to protest the environment? You know what I mean? Like, what they're doing to environments. Like, I was like, why don't you go out to NASA or go out to the launch statement, the launch pads at Elon Musk's SpaceX thing that he's doing? Like, why would you go to a US Open to make a statement? That was kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think Colorado Coach Prime, they just took over the media, and I think her coverage wasn't covered like that and spoke about, even though it was reported and whatnot. That's why I say I'm kind of behind her, even though I had a chance to check her out. But the little I seen highlights wise, yeah, she awesome. She's definitely a gift to the sport.
Yeah, they said that, she was the first one to do it since Serena Williams, and I'm just proud to see how the melanation of our people just dominating all these sports stories. You know what I mean? That's big ups to our people, and showing that they could compete on any level in any sports, and it's just good to see right now. Everyone should be proud right now.
Right. And you gotta give shouts out to Corey Richardson. I mean, she did her thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like you said, we just making statements, man. And it's beautiful because we know that the white media gonna respond a certain kind of way. They won't give us our flowers like talking about it. And a lot of times we don't come together like you know in FNC reporting through black media about what's going on with these black athletes. They really wouldn't get the spotlight like that. So shout out to you and other people that's out here doing the work.
Wow, shout out to you, my brother, for tuning in. And so, like, I know you said you haven't been, really following sports that heavy, but NFNC News, Facts, and Comments have their fantasy football team competing today, first Sunday, right? We already up 8 points against my competitor, that they have on NFL fantasy, right? So, have you had a chance to take a look at my opening lineup?
No, I won't even lie. I haven't. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. I haven't. But you can share with me, if you can put it on the screen, I can let you know what I think about it.
All right. So, let me see if I got my fantasy thing up here so I can share. Because, like I said, I'm driving. Hopefully, I don't have that team up. I have two fantasy teams, right? But the other one is more like for a personal thing, right? For the family, right? But the NFNC team is on NFL, and I didn't pull it up, but I have it on my phone, so I'm not gonna be able to share the screen, but you know football, right? You know position. So you just let
Yeah.
me know based on past history, you just let me know how this sounds. So in
But
that
first and
quarter,
foremost, you be
yeah.
safe on that road while you're driving.
Oh, I'm not driving. The
All right, cool,
the
cool.
the Major Sergeant Davis is driving, right? So I, I'm I'm
Right.
I'm co-pilot at this time, right? So
All
all
right.
right, so for at quarterback, I have Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia. Now, Jalen went to the Super Bowl last year, right? Even though
Right.
they lost against Kansas City. So I got him as my starting quarterback, right? He's projected to get 22 points, right? That's what they're projecting. Now, what I said was for multiply that by 5, and that's going to donation to ortho.org. What you think about that, my brother?
You can't. It kind of. I just caught the very end when you was talking about Jalen Hurts. Him. You saying gonna get 22 points, whatever. It cut off, so you got to kind of repeat it. Let me understand what you're saying.
Okay, so Jalen Hurts is starting today. He's projected to get 22 points. If he gets that 22 points or however many points he gets today, I'm going to multiply that by $5, and that's how much I'm going to donate to the Otho.org Legal Defense Fund. What you think about that?
That's super. That's great. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, and that would be a nice challenge. You should kind of extend to your audience and people you know about what you're doing, so it can be something that can probably happen every week. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, so for all of my listening audience that's tuning in right now, that may tune in later, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get that Otho.org Legal Defense Fund up for everyone so we can see where we are at now, right? And as of right now, see there. As of right now, we have. Oh, I gotta refresh that because I think we like almost like at $90,000 now. We had a lot of donations that came in over the weekend, and I want to give a shout out to everybody who donated during the $25 drive, right? So we're at $89,775, and the goal is to raise $25,000 to complete. the the legal defense fund for the retainer for the attorney. So if anybody want to challenge me and want to compete with me, if you got a fantasy football team out there, take the quarterback, whatever he scores, multiply that by 5 and make that donation. Like Major said, like that would really help us out. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I know a lot of us watch football and we're football fans, and so this is the best way to say, show it. Hey, make sure that the attention stays on Otho in his legal challenges right now. So that's the quarterback. That's who we're gonna bet on. We're betting on Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, to score at least 22 points. That's multiply that by 5. That's $100. Like, so easy, right? So Major, you still there with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So next, my running back, I have Jay Mixon of the Cincinnati Bengals at running back position. Now the Bengals, they were so close to coming in and going to the Super Bowl last year. Joe Burrow was the quarterback, and they really did their thing. So that's why I chose a running back from Cincinnati, because I think that they're going to be contenders this year. And so I don't know how you feel about the Bengals, brother. It's been a long time since they had a winning squad, but last year they kind of did their thing. What you think about them?
I think they're a great contender team for the Super Bowl again. Of course, they do have to be worried about KC as well as Buffalo, and other teams that's coming out of AFC that can be dressed as. And don't forget Baltimore as well. You know what I'm saying? Well, Lamar Jackson with the new big contract and what have you. What he bring to the table with having OBJ over there too, and other great assets that they um help get for the team for him offensive wise. So they're a great team. I believe they're gonna be the team to beat in the next 3 years. But they're definitely contention. But I feel good about them. I seen them play Kansas City last year, and it was just Mr. Magic. I'm calling him Mr. Magic.
Yes,
um,
indeed.
just making things happen, man. But shouts out to Cincinnati, bro. They should do good this year.
I agree. So far I got two winners on my team. And then so I also have Jay Connor, Arizona running back. I have C Goodwin, a Godwin for Tampa Bay as a wide receiver. I have C Watson, Green Bay, as an in the other wide receiver position. My tight end is G the Glit. I don't really know too much about him. I use like my default tight end because he had good numbers, but I don't really know too much about him. But the tight end I wanted, somebody snatched him before I was able to draft him. So you know how that is when you're doing the live drafts, right? So and then at my alternate at my alternate wide receiver position, I have uh Jay Smith. I got Jay Smith. So with New England Patriots. So New England always putting up points. So that might be a good thing. And for my defense, I got the Vikings. I got the Minnesota Vikings defense. What do you think about that, my brother?
To be honest with you, Minnesota keep a good defense, but you have to watch other teams out there that have very, very good defenses. So I'm not saying that's a bad pick, but you got teams that got good defense as well. They're gonna definitely like Dallas. Dallas defense like they put together a nice defense. And I don't know. I don't know, and I'm not gonna try to go too deep into it because I haven't really researched Minnesota like that. But I know Minnesota keep a good defense. They basically been struggling on offense though. I like Dallas defense. I like what Dallas putting together over there too, as well the Saints. Well, the Saints too. According,
Oh wow, I was just talking and the mic was off. What I said was the Saints is my backup defense on my Yahoo fantasy team. But for this fantasy team, for NFL fantasy, I have the Giants as my backup. But today the Vikings are going up against Tampa Bay. So what do you think about Tampa Bay's offense? Because that's your boy retired, so I don't know about them. I don't think they're gonna have a good squad this year. What you think?
Yeah, they not was leading in NFC South is Saints, should pull that off with the new quarterback and Derek Carr and what have you, and the pieces and the great wide receiver and running game they have on Alvin Kamara. Even though he out for a couple of weeks, they got some new backs that can help fill in that void. But I don't see them coming out. I don't see them beating Minnesota.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm thinking my squad look pretty good. I'm thinking we're gonna do all right today. They have me projected to win by 4 points. I've already garnered 8 points with the kicker. My kicker, he plays with Kansas City. He got 8 points on last Thursday but Kansas City lost to Detroit on Thursday. But the kicker got me 8 points already, and he did better than what was projected. So I think we're gonna pull this off. We're gonna start the fantasy week one off with a win. That's what I'm thinking. I want to be like Coach Prime. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yes,
it's possible, man. Any given Sunday, you don't know. A losing team can beat a good team. It's just the mindset, the preparation, the plan, execution.
yes. I'm going for that. I'm going for that Coach of the Year in my draft, right? I mean, in my league, I want Coach of the Year. I'm going for that number one spot, right? As far as how I change people around and whatnot. I don't know if you ever played fantasy football before, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I never played it, and I never played it.
Well, basically, you're picking your players. You drafting your players, and you have to make game day decisions based on who's injured and who have a bye this week. You know what I mean? So it's very, very strategic. You gotta look at everything when you're doing your draft, and you got to be on it on game day, right? On game day, you got to be on it. So anyway, so that's that. With that, I am so excited about this year. I mean, I'm like we said, we're betting on Jalen Hurts to do his thing so that we can donate those funds to the Ulta.org. And I'm challenging everybody who's listening now, listening later. Set up a challenge for yourself. We did good with the $25 drive this weekend, but let's keep the drive alive by, logging on and following a team and picking a team and betting on that player to bring some funds in. So my brother, anything else in sports news we need to talk about?
I'm gonna just say this. Um, this year will be a great year for many black athletes. Due to the achievements of athletes like Coco, like Shakara Richardson, and what have you. And then Coach Prime coming on the scene doing this thing. And I just feel like if we really pay attention, there are some bold statements being made. There is things being done in sports by melanated people that it's not something so new, but you have a new group of people that's coming in that's not taking the nonsense. They're speaking their mind. They're making statements on the field. They're just not talking. They're backing it up with their actions, right? And I just feel like it's just so much gonna happen that even in boxing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a lot gonna be said because sad to say, it's always been a black and white thing in sports. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to really get the nation come together and be one nation behind that person, and not because of their color or what have you, right? But because of we in the age of racism and discrimination, we deal with that. But I think sports gonna be a great year for melanated people.
And that is what's up. I do agree with you, sir. And I want to thank you for coming in and being part of this first episode of NFNC Sunday morning sports wrap session. those of you listening and listening now, maybe listening later, don't forget tonight is the premiere of Major Davis, Major TV interview that I did, and man, you're gonna be surprised at things that this brother says. This brother just lays it all out. We talk about we talked about Grandmaster Jay, we talked about Black August, we talked about the prison stint that this brother did, we talked about his businesses. It was so jam packed in 1 hour and a half, and I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. So don't forget to tune back into Achoti Speaks tonight for the premiere of Major Davis of Major TV at 6 p.m. Central Time. And Major, I want to thank you once again, my brother, for coming through.
Thank you, thank you. Take care of a blessing.
All right, my brother, be blessed.
All right, peace.
Shalom. So yeah, so once again, family, tonight 6 p.m. Watch the exclusive interview I did with Major Davis. Find out what's going on with him in his life tonight, and then also uh, stay on YouTube because OC the Great is going to be doing a fundraiser for our brother Othel. So remember, the goal is to try to raise this $25,000 to ensure that our brother retains his attorneys that's fighting so hard for him right now. I'm on my way now to bring you exclusive coverage of the trial. Let's not forget that we need to donate to help save a life. Do something for someone else, and don't be selfish. Right? $25, whatever you want to donate. $5, whatever you want to donate to help this great cause. Like this, the time is for us to stand up for Ozone because he stood up for us. So, of course, as usual, I always want to say we're better together. We're stronger together. So let's stick together. And thank you once again for tuning in to Nfnc Sunday Morning Sports Wrap session. And that's a wrap. Enjoy your day. Shalom, family.